Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Land Bodybuilding. Mountain. And the nice part about natural bodybuilding is that in the end, you're just trying to find out what works. And I think that if more people adopted this philosophy, I think that we would probably see a lot of different training techniques or different types of workout programs become the best for different people, right? Because a lot of times, unfortunately, people are a lot like sheep. They'll follow whatever is the most trendy or what is the new flavor of the day when it comes down to what works or what is the latest science behind some sort of exercise technique or dietary technique. And of course, that'll change, give it 5 years, then all of a sudden they find out this study was wrong or that workout technique was the worst possible thing. But you can sidestep this entire drama just by paying attention to your own physical body. And a lot of times that means you have to be a bit of a rebel, right? Because honestly, if you're gonna try to find out what works, you have to also risk doing what doesn't work for periods of time and to see what is giving you the results. And discard that which is not giving you results and embrace that which is and build upon that. And when that stops working, say you decide to do partial reps or full range reps or whatever it is, once that stops working for you, then you will adjust or move into a new technique to try and test out or a new type of workout program. And in the end, we're all just trying to do the same thing. We're just trying to find out what works. And I found what works for me. And you may be in the stage of just starting to learn what works for you, or perhaps you have found what's worked for you before, but now you're at a plateau and you're trying to find out what the new flavor is that you need to embrace. Maybe you need more high frequency training, or maybe you need more low frequency training. Maybe you need to take more days off. And I think you understand where I'm going with this, is that there's no dogma or fanaticism in this. It's just a very practical way of understanding the forces of the universe in how they are moving through you and what effect they have if you take one course of action or another course of action. And I think that a lot of the, arguments and stuff of the internet, sometimes both people are right, actually. Sometimes this person's right about what they're saying about themselves, and this person's also right about what they're saying about himself or herself, right? It's one of those things where when you accept that there are specific circumstances that force you into using, high frequency training, or force you into taking 4 days off in a row from the gym, then you start to realize that this is more like what is working in the moment and making adjustments based on what I'm seeing. So for instance, say you feel like you're overtraining, you always feel burned out, you always feel like you have dead legs, you're really tired when you go to the gym, and maybe you have aching joints and stuff. Maybe you need to either cut back on volume, get more sleep, eat more, or rest more. And I would do experiments with each one of these 4 variables to figure out what that is. And a lot of times there's no shame in, if you feel burned out, just taking some extra days off, right? That's the thing. You don't have to be driven by guilt in order to find out what works. So really the reason why I've made most of my videos is not to just teach you what works, but just to teach you certain variables that may work and try them out and find out. And of course, if something is injuring you or causing problems with your body, no matter what anybody says, it cannot be the right thing for you. But that doesn't mean that this whole workout thing is easy. Sometimes you're just fighting a lack of motivation, It's not necessarily, a body thing. Sometimes you're just fighting an aversion to physical discomfort. Right? Going to the gym every day or every second day or whatever is not exactly the most fun thing in the world, especially when everything is not going according to plan or you're not getting gains every single time you walk through the gym doors, right? But in the end, once you've learned to overcome your own resistances around training, right? Overcome your own lack of willpower and laziness and so forth, then the body will actually speak to you very, very strongly about what it feels, whether it's getting burned out or whether it's having energy or not, and you become very neutral in that observation. And once you get to this place, then you're going to really start to be able to see what is the best thing for you to do, whether you need days off or whether you need to increase the volume or lower the volume in your training, or you need to do more heavier weight workouts or more lighter weight workouts. So it's about coming to this sobriety, right? This absolute awareness. And you won't find it through dogma or some sort of fanatical sort of thinking of, you know, everybody should train this certain way, because that thinking won't even apply to you at some point. You see, so you become a victim of your own fanaticism. And so that's why you want to break that as fast as possible, because then that allows you to bob and weave as your body throws different curveballs at you. You know, it allows you to adapt or to make changes, right? But if you're too locked into your way of seeing something, you won't make the necessary changes, and you'll either break yourself or not necessarily be able to move forward in your bodybuilding results. That's really what, you know, one of the things that comes to me. I drove up here to think about a video, but this is really what comes to me as I'm sitting here in the forest, you know, waiting for Sasquatches to throw some sticks at me so I have something to sell on the website. But in the end, this is going to serve you far more than anything else I can say, is always follow what is working and not what isn't working, regardless of how popular such philosophy might be at the time in your circle of friends or on the internet or whatever. So yeah, guys, I hope this helped you out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Mountain.